Okay, now we're going to go over how to calculate reliability. Okay, this is our same little data sheet that we summarized a minute ago.
All right.
When you collect your reliability data, what you're doing is you're making sure that the reliability observer understands the definitions in the same way that you do. See, right here I have these behavior definitions for my major categories, and I have a description of what each behavior is supposed to look like, okay? What counts as a behavior. Now, what you should do when you're training, when you're collecting data yourself, but also when you're training your reliability observers, you need to read these definitions every time before you score video, because you think that you know what something means and maybe you really don't. Because this isn't like, okay, what I made up for classroom skills in this particular example, it may not be what you think classroom skills are. This is just the way I chose to define it. Doesn't mean I'm right.
Yes.
Okay? There are other definitions for classroom skills, but for the purpose of this particular study, we all have to code the behavior in the way that I wrote it here. Even if you don't agree with me and you think I'm wrong, you still have to go by what this definition sheet has. Now, let's say you have somebody who's collecting data and they're like, well, would this count or would that count? You're free to go back after you've collected some data and clarify this. Like this does include this does not include this, but you cannot change any of your definitions. You can further clarify them only, because if you change them, then it invalidates the data that you collected previously. Does that make sense?
Yes, don't change the data.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at this very beautiful data sheet that I collected in pink ink. I know it's very attractive and I wrote all over it. So what we'll do, if you notice that I have tally marks on everything, okay? When you're collecting your data, you always want to use a tally mark, because when we are looking at our reliability, we're going to be using a circle. Okay, so what you do when you collect your data, or when you figure out your reliability, is you're looking for agreement. Okay, so anything that's in agreement, so you have classroom skills here, that's in agreement. Okay, nothing. I have self-esteem on here, but I don't have it on here, so I'm going to circle this because we did not agree. Okay, then I have self-expression on this one, the main observer, but not on this one, so I'm going to circle this. So basically, if I have something that they don't have, I circle it. But if they have something that I don't have, I also circle it. We always circle it on the reliability data collector sheet. Okay, we summarize our main observer's data, and we calculate reliability on the reliability data collector sheet. Okay, so I'm going to go through here. You see persistence. Self-esteem is not on here. We both have persistence. I didn't have self-esteem here. This one had classroom skills. This one did not. This matched. This does not match. So we're just going through and we're circling all the things that are not a match.
So did the observers observe these behaviors at the same times or different times?
No, I just now made this up because I didn't have one. I just wrote over it. But yes, they would normally have done this at the same time. Okay, and see here they have non-occurrence here, and we don't have it on the main data sheet, so we're going to circle it.
I understand reliability a little better now.
Okay, so we're going to circle this. That's the same. We're going to circle this. Circle this, circle this, circle this. Because you see, they don't have it here, but they have it here. Circle this, and there was nothing on both of these. Okay. And then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to calculate this particular column right here because I don't need to go through all this. Of course, I made a sheet for this. I love to make a sheet. And this is for whole group, okay? So you see here I have 3 categories: occurrence, non-occurrence, and overall. And if you see at the top of my little sheet, I have the formula for calculating reliability is agreements. That's how, if we both agreed something happened or didn't happen, did it occur, did it not occur, divided by agreements plus disagreements times 100%. So if we're looking just at, I'm going to just mark some of these up on classroom skills so we could do one complete one. Okay, I'm making this up, it doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm going to look at classroom skills and how often we said classroom skills occurred. Okay, so the formula is agreements over agreements plus disagreements. So agreements is anything that has a slash mark that is not circled.
Okay.
We agree that it occurred. So that's 1, 2, 3. 3 times, okay? So the formula is agreements over agreements plus disagreements, okay? Disagreements is any time we have it circled, whether it has a slash mark or not, okay? So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, okay? So to, that's 3 over 12. And we're going to calculate the percent of that, and that's 25%. That's very, very stinky reliability.
It is.
Right? Because remember that we want, what's our criteria of agreement?
Is it maybe 80?
It's 80%. We need to have 80% agreement, okay? But we're in luck because we still have to calculate non-occurrence and overall.
Okay.
What you need to know about occurrence reliability is that sometimes you can get a deflated value in here if it's a low occurrence behavior, like it didn't happen very much.
Okay.
And sometimes you can get an inflated reliability if it happens a whole lot, because there's a lot of opportunities for you to agree. So that's why we calculate occurrence and non-occurrence and overall, because it gives us a truer measure. Okay, so let's look at this data sheet again for classroom skills, and we're going to count the number of times that we both agree that it did not happen. So that means that we don't have anything with a slash mark or circle, okay? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, okay? So we agreed that it did not happen, because this is non-occurrence, 8 times, okay? And remember, the formula is agreements over agreement plus disagreement. So we carry the 8 down again, and then we're going to count up anything that's circled, okay, whether it has a slash mark in it or not. And just a little cheetah baby thing, it's always going to be the same, okay? So we already counted, it was 9, so we're going to count it again, it's 9, so then it's going to be 8 over 17. And that ends up being, ooh, another stinky number, 47. 47%, that stinks. Okay, now we're going to calculate overall agreement, okay? That means we agree that it happened or it didn't happen. Okay. So basically we're going to count anything that's not circled.
Okay.
So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, okay? So we're going to have 11 over 11 plus, and it's still going to be 9. It's going to be 11 over 20. It's still going to stink.
Yeah.
Ooh, 55%. But what I want you to notice is that the agreement, the overall agreement is going to be higher than the others. Always, okay? When you're reporting this, if you look at some of the newer articles, the standard is to report occurrence, non-occurrence, and overall. And you're going to report the mean and the range. So let's say we had a whole sheet of these for, you know, our whole study. Remember, we're collecting data on 20%. You know, we're going to duly code 20% of our sessions, okay? Then all you would do is you would go down each category and you would add them up and average them. Okay, so if you had 10 observations, you would add up these and divide by 10 for each of these categories, and then you would report the mean and the range for each.
Okay,
does that make sense?
I understand.
Okay.